It was sitting on the little table back there. My
I think it's
command picture.
it's in my room somewhere. I'll have to look for it. I don't remember where I put it. Hey guys! So it is Sunday evening. What, honey? Time for Sunday evening live chat. Here comes Dookie sneaking into the kitchen. Hi, Dookie. I can't pick him up to show him like I have Shotzi. Dude, he just shook the whole table. Oh, honey, you will freak him out. All right. Stop. Everybody out. Go. Oh, the madness. Hello, Cindy. Yes, you were the first one in. Hi, Peggy. Welcome. Hello, Eva. Doing well. How are you doing? We had beautiful temperatures today. We got outside, got a good bit of stuff done that we needed to do because we've got more cold weather coming here in Alabama. Of course, not like some folks are getting tons and tons of snow already, but it's definitely cold for Alabama. So I think there's supposed to be one day this week, it's supposed to get into the teens one night. And that's pretty chilly for this part of the country. So we finished up winterizing things out there. The chicken coop, well, both the chicken coops really. So that'll be in tomorrow's video. You'll see us doing that, as well as a few other things, of course. It's 15 degrees now and still snowing. Cindy's getting her first snow tomorrow, 1 to 3 inches. I am hopeful that we're going to get some this year. We don't get it every year. I think last year we got the tiniest dusting that really looked like a heavy frost. It wasn't like snow. Now, our first year here in Alabama, we did have about, gosh, I think it was like 6 inches of snow or something like that. And we kind of laughed that Alabama was welcoming us from Alaska and by giving us the snow, that unusual snow, that it was making us feel welcome. Just a second, I gotta take my tea bag out of my tea here. Alrighty. I forgot to grab a dish to set it in. Oh, goodness. So what's everybody been up to this weekend? What have you been doing, keeping busy? Mr. Smith got back into town from Utah yesterday. You're drinking tea, and I'm drinking hot water, vinegar, and cinnamon with honey. Cindy had Bible group yesterday and resting today. Hello, Jean. Welcome. We moved out of our house one step closer to our Alabama home on the 22nd. Wonderful. Hey, honey. So there's a lady here named Jean who is moving here to Alabama from Washington State. They actually bought a house not far from here in Priceville.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where it was. Isn't that what you said, Jean? You'll have to let me know if I remember that right or not. I think that's what she said. Priceville area. Priceville is about, depending on what part of Priceville it is, that's about 15 minutes from where we live.
Question.
Yes, it was Priceville. Huh?
Which one do I make this picture to make it to my profile picture?
For what?
Facebook.
It should say profile picture. You might not be able to do it on your phone. Let's see. Eva, Cowboy and I are building a shelter for critters. Yeah. Been a lot of that happening around here. Well, not really building shelters. Just getting them winterized. That's what's been happening around here. Although we did get a new chicken coop for the little bantams. I shared that in the Friday video, I believe it was. I had ordered just a little one off of Wayfair. I was going to pick one up from the co-op because they usually have those pre-made little coops, but they didn't have any, so I just ordered it from Wayfair. Nothing fancy. If you didn't see the Friday video, I just needed something quick, and I know those are not the greatest coops and they do not last, but I just didn't have the time right now to build another coop. So I just figure that'll do for the time being. And it's actually not a chicken coop, it's a duck hutch low to the ground for their tiny little legs. Makes it easy for them to get into. Yes, they're doing good in there. Now the first couple nights there was one hen that didn't want to go in, but all of the rest of them just went right on in. No issue. So I had to scoop her up and put her in there, and just for a couple nights, and now they're fine. They just go right in, they do their thing, and they lay their eggs over in the corner in the little nest sort of area that they've got going, and they sleep over on the other side. So I didn't really worry about giving them a perch, because when we had them set up in the chicken tractor originally when they were younger and smaller, I had roosts in there for them. They never got on them. And the last coop that we had actually had little roosts in there. They never got on them. They always preferred to like sleep together in a little pile in the corner. So I figured the duck hutch would be perfect for them. And so, but yeah, they're doing well. We do have to, because of the way the door closes up, we do actually have to move straw because they will track straw out the door. And so that kind of gets in the hinge. But other than that, there's really not been any issues with it. And it opens from the top. It makes it easy to reach in there and collect the eggs and all that good stuff. And so I think Mr. Smith's over there trying to change his Facebook profile. Aw. Eva's got a mama deer and twins in her front yard right now. They seem to come in every night now. Extra green grass through the snow. Yeah. They know where to go. Have you had time to sit in your deer stand? I have not. I honestly don't know that I'm going to hunt this year, just because our older son, Joshua, will be here in a couple of weeks, and he wants to hunt, and Jack want to hunt. So I think I will give them the opportunity to do so, because this will actually be the first time that Joshua's been able to hunt in several years, because they were stationed in Germany and he can't do it over there. So I'm going to step aside and let him take my spot out there, because he'll be here for about 3 weeks or so visiting, and he'll have ample opportunity. So. Yeah, we're looking forward to him coming to visit. It's been about a year, almost a year, since his last visit here in Alabama. So I think he'll enjoy it. I think he likes our home, Because remember, we bought this place, he was already in Germany. And so he's never actually lived here. But when they came to visit, he was able to see it. Hello, Plain Speaker. Welcome. And I think he got a kick out of the chickens and all of that, and being able to walk out into the woods and just enjoy it. So I think he'll enjoy the break when he comes to visit. But I do need to set up, we had talked last year when I got my deer about setting up a place to hang deer from to make it easier to butcher. And we never did get around to doing that. Might need to do that this week. Just a simple frame with, posts and a cross beam supported that we can hang them from if we get one, or if they get one, I should say, since I'm going to let them do the hunting this year. Yeah, we had talked about doing that because we were trying to hang them from a piece of wood that we had mounted on a post, and it wasn't going very well. It was very difficult, and it wasn't high enough. So Patricia says, today I found a very small kitten on my front porch. It looks just like your 2 farm cats. Do you know if the markings are common on those cats? This one has a tail. Aw. Well, orange tabbies are pretty common. And kind of neat to see the bold markings on them. I've never had orange tabbies before. So Stumper and Nubs are our first orange tabbies, and they've kind of grown on me. Growing up, my cat, I had 2 cats growing up when I was a kid. One of them was solid white, and the other one was a gray tabby, and his name was Kiki. And I used to always be very drawn to gray tabbies. It made me very partial to them, I think, just because of Kiki, my favorite cat. And so, we have Hickory, who we've had for years and years. But now I've kind of grown on the orange ones. The ginger cats have grown on me too. Do you know Shunice? No, I do not. Let's see. My cowboy wants to hang one in our root cellar. I'm undecided. I don't know about hanging one in there. Oh, Cindy, no, they're not my first Manx cats. We've actually had 2 other Manxes over the years. We had a calico Manx. Actually, they were both calico. We had one years ago that we didn't actually get to keep her very long. We got her right as we were about to move to Germany, and it's a long story, but basically we got switched into the unit very quickly, and we weren't able to go through all the steps that we needed to prep for the trip. We weren't supposed to be going to Germany originally, and it came up quickly, and so we ended up looking for a home for her, but we found a great home. The family had a golden retriever, and the kitten and this golden retriever ended up being the best of friends. They absolutely adored each other. So we were a little heartbroken that we couldn't take that kitten with. I don't even remember her name anymore. But then a few years later, we had a calico Manx, and we had her for years. Her name was Sassy, and she was. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jean. Hello, Off Kilter Homestead. Welcome. Honey, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're welcome. I love it.
Hopefully you heard him.
Thank you. I enjoyed every minute of it.
For the most part. My little flower garden looks really sad now. The cold weather really did a number on them. They were really pretty, though. I enjoyed them until the end. Oh, same here, Peggy. There's still beauty to be found, though. I mean, even you know, walking out there and looking at like the seed pods and just the way the blossoms all dried up, they do still have their own little beauty about them. Cindy asked, even being deployed, question mark. Even being deployed?
Yes.
He says yes. Yep, happy Veterans Day to you. Is it Wixer? Wixer. So not much else has been going on this weekend. Like I said, we were doing a lot of stuff outside in the property, in the yard, in the chicken yard, and all of that stuff, and took care of a few things that we needed to do this morning. Winterized the coops, and so everything should be good to go now. Well, orange tabbies, not always, but most of the time, orange tabbies are male. So good chance that it's a boy kitty. Stumper, you know, our female is very, very rare. Orange, it's just like kind of like with the calicos. Calicos are generally all females, and ginger, orange tabbies are almost always male, but not always, but most of the time.
We have an orange ginger mates, female.
Yeah. It does, Eva. Those dried flowers, even though they're dry and dead, they do have a beauty about them. They do make a nice arrangement. I had some straw flowers that I grew this year, and those usually dry very well and keep their shape and keep a lot of their color, but the birds beat me to them. So. But I think those are perennials, so I'm not going to pull those plants out. I'll kind of leave them where they're at. I don't know how they come back. I need to look. I'm pretty sure I saw that they were perennials. Oh yes, happy birthday. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps. Have you ever had a shuffle? No, but I don't know what that is. I mean, it's kind of like, it's ringing a bell. I've heard of the phrase, but I can't place of what that is. A shuffle, if that's how you pronounce it, I'm guessing. Oh, a keto cheese waffle. I have not, but it sounds tasty. So that probably wouldn't be pronounced a shuffle if it's made out of cheese. Maybe a chuffle. But I'd say that'd be really good, because just thinking of cheese inside a griddle getting all crispy, that sounds fantastic. Yes, anything cheese. I am a cheese lover. Plain Speaker says they're not bad. He's had one. Because I know there's this one recipe that I make for the family. It's been a family favorite for years. It's a bacon cheeseburger roll-up. It's basically pizza dough, and I fill it with ground beef and bacon and ketchup and mustard and pickle relish and all that stuff. And you roll it up like a giant cinnamon roll, but then you don't cut it up. You just bake it. And I put cheese, grated cheese over the top of it. Oh, and cheese on the inside of it. And then I would always, now one of my children does not like pickle relish. So one end of it I would make without pickle relish in it. And I would take a pile of the shredded cheese and I would place it. I bake often on a stone. And I would place it at that end of the roll so that we knew which end didn't have the pickle relish. And when that cheese baked, it made one of those beautiful discs of crisp cheese. And it was so good. And I started having to make more than one because it was my treat and I would enjoy it and not tell anybody. And Mr. Smith discovered that I was doing that and he started coming in and eating them. So just thinking of that crunchy cheese sounds delicious. Patricia, I was going to plant them, but I was out of town for a while, and I forgot to tell Mr. Smith that there were plants on the front porch that needed to be watered, and the mums did not make it. So I was going to try and plant them because I know they will come back. But yeah, I missed that opportunity. So maybe next year. Oh, with syrup. I don't know about that. I don't know. Okay. Mr. Smith has this thing about maple syrup. He loves to put maple syrup in all sorts of things. And I will ask him often, like if he's made chili or something and there's a sweetness to it, I'm like, did you put maple syrup in that? And he goes, a little bit. Him and maple syrup all the time, all the time. But I don't know about on cheese. I don't know about on something crunchy like crunchy cheese. That just now pizza. I could totally see that a pizza version. I just thank you, plain speaker. But now are these waffles, these chaffles that you're making? They're not just cheese though. Are they bready? Do they have like a bread consistency to them, like an actual waffle would? Because maybe if they had a bready consistency, then maybe I could see putting syrup on them, but not if they're like crunchy cheese. Not crunchy. Tastes like a Oh, okay. Okay, well, if it tastes like a Belgian waffle, then I can totally see, yes, I can totally see you putting maple syrup on there. Yeah, I have a bunch of recipes that I've been wanting to play around with for bread types of things, waffles, pancakes, things like that, because we do enjoy we do breakfast for dinner. I almost never make big breakfasts for actual breakfast, except for special occasions, I guess. We just hardly ever do that. But we do often, well, we used to often have pancakes or waffles or something like that for, hello, Catherine, welcome. But we used to often do that for dinner. But then when I kind of went paleo, I don't do that very often anymore. So it would be nice to have a version I can make for myself and make them the traditional ones, because while I do the paleo, I don't make everybody in the house do it, except for like the main dishes and stuff like that. But they don't mind because they're just good. Hello, Atkins Family Homestead. Welcome. Thank you, Catherine. Oh, Brenner. Yep. We called it B for D, breakfast for dinner. That's all right, Wixer. I just tend to not talk about politics for the most part. I do have very strong views about certain things, but I tend to leave that for face-to-face conversations. I think those tend to be a little more beneficial. So, interesting story. This sweet lady you see here in the comments, in the chat, by the name of Catherine Stott, is the reason I started blogging. And she's also the reason I started my YouTube channel several years ago. She challenged me to do so, and well, with the YouTube, she tried to get me to do it for years before I finally picked up a camera and actually started doing it. So we have Catherine to thank for that. And I'm glad I did. And once I did start doing it and actually enjoyed this, and even like the editing process, editing the videos, to me, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a little bit of an art form. Well, not all of them are. When I have the time to do all of the B-roll so that I can do those like musical montages and stuff like that, I love doing those and I enjoy it. I wish I'd have started doing it sooner. I wish I'd have started it when we lived in Alaska, because I would have loved to have shared just the natural beauty and the animals and just everything about living up there. So have some regrets about that I didn't start sooner. I should have listened to Catherine the first time she told me to start a YouTube channel. Aw, thank you, Catherine. Well, I'm comfortable in front of the camera now. Those first few videos that I did, oh, they were so bad. I went back and I listened to them later on, and it was that I was talking in my teacher voice, and it was very unnatural. Oh, so bad. Prairie Girl, Eva, I found that I was more comfortable in front of the camera when I just started talking to the camera like I was talking to my best friend, and stop thinking about it being a camera and about it being YouTube. And when I just started talking like I would talk to anybody, it came much more naturally. Now the editing, that's been a challenge, learning the programs and things like that, but I enjoy it. Hello, TNS Dogs and Dragonflies Farm. Patricia, yes, I do like honey in my tea. That's actually what I've got right here. I've got some raw honey, and I just put one little spoonful in there, just enough. I don't put anything in my coffee, though, other than my organic half and half. So the editing program that I use currently, and I always forget what it's called, it's Power Director. It's made by Cyberlink. I don't have a Mac, I have a PC. And so that is the program that I use. I know a lot of people like, what is it called? Final Cut Pro or something like that. But I think that's a Mac program. I don't think that that's available for computers. So that's the program that I use now. And I've been using that for about 3 years now. I started using it right around the time we bought our property. Prior to that, I used to use a free program called, I think it was Windows Movie Maker or something like that, but they don't have it available anymore. It used to be a free download from Windows, but it's not something available anymore. Starting out, what would you recommend? Well, the program that I'm using, it has a lot of capabilities. Like, it's got the abilities to do things I don't even know how to do. But as far as actually editing, it's not that difficult. What I did, I went on YouTube and I found some tutorials that showed the screenshots and showed you how to do different things. And it made it really, really easy. YouTube is a wonderful resource for learning stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I installed a new theme on my website a few days ago, and there was something I needed to know how to do. Found a video showing me how to do it on YouTube. But you know, if you're just getting started, you can also, like if you've got an iPhone, you can use iMovie, and I think that's free now on most iPhones, maybe iPads or devices. So I think it's really just a matter of use what you have, get comfortable with just being in front of in front of the camera, and you know, once you are comfortable doing that, then maybe branch out. I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on something right away, especially if you know you're just getting started. A lot of people will jump right in with YouTube and they'll buy expensive programs and cameras and all that stuff. But, you know, you want to make sure you're going to stick with it before you invest anything in it. That's just me. Let's see. Wixer. Where was that? Oh, moderators are made by the person or the channel that's doing the video. And we have the person doing this has the ability to assign that to people. Right. Yeah, iMovie, I think it might be easier to use on larger devices than it is the iPhone. I did years ago, because when I first started doing videos, I did it on my iPhone, but I wouldn't edit it on my iPhone. I would transfer the video files to my computer, and then I would use Windows Media or Windows Movie Maker to edit them. But if we were traveling or something like that, because I didn't used to have a laptop, I had a desktop computer. Then I would kind of splice it together with iMovie on my phone, but I didn't use that a lot, so I didn't really have the skill set, I don't think. I don't know. It just seems like people who use iMovie on like a MacBook or something like that have more options than I think the iPhone version does. I don't know. I just don't know enough about it. I just know that it's readily available and it's basically free for anybody who's got an product, and I just think it's a great way to just get started. You know, you don't have to have all the fancy equipment. You don't. I mean, there's some very successful YouTube channels out there, and all they do is, you know, on their phone. So it doesn't have to be fancy. You just got to do it. Oh, okay. Off Kilter Homestead. He says he uses his iMac for ease of use, but he can cut with more precision on the phone for some reason. Well, and it could be too, when I was doing it, I had an iPhone 3, I think it was, which is a much smaller screen. So doing it on such a small space might have made it harder too. The phones are a little bit bigger nowadays than they used to be. Yep, like Catherine says, just do it. When are you coming to NC, North Carolina? I don't know when I will be coming to North Carolina again, Catherine. I was just there in February. And so those of you who have been subscribers of mine for a while, like back when we lived on Redstone Arsenal, may remember me and Mr. Smith went on a little bit of a road trip, and we actually stopped in Kentucky, and we went to a bakery in this tiny little place called Liberty, and that was Catherine and her husband Blaine's bakery at the time. They have since moved to North Carolina and are enjoying life there, closer to their children. Yes, we are in Alabama. I'm originally from the Midwest, Wisconsin. My husband was an Army brat, but his family's from Tennessee. And we were Army, lived all over the place. And our last duty station actually was Redstone Arsenal here in Alabama, and felt that this was the right place for us to settle down. It was closer to family. We loved living in Alaska, which is where we were last prior to coming here. Almost stayed there, but it was too far from family. And we enjoy it. We're happy that this is where we have settled and planted roots. Yeah, that was back in February, Catherine. So I will definitely let you know when I plan on coming to North Carolina again. For those of you who don't know, my daughter is married, lives in North Carolina, and my older son also lives right there in North Carolina. He's in the Army stationed at Fort Bragg. And so they are basically kind of in the same town. And so it's nice to be able to go and see them there. I did that back in February. My friend was stationed in Alaska a few years ago, loved it. Now she's stationed in North Carolina. Yeah, we loved it. I mean, you wouldn't, no surprise. I mean, if you've been around here for 5 minutes, you know how much we loved living in Alaska. But we like living here in the South. In North Carolina, South Carolina, my sister-in-law lived in South Carolina for many years, and they like that area as well. But they are actually settling in North Carolina. North Carolina. They moved up. They were stationed in Virginia for a while, and then it looks like North Carolina is where they're going to call home. And so they're kind of at the end of military life as well, but they're a Marine Corps family. And so North Carolina has got a lot of us Smiths there, at least on my husband's side of the family. Hubby did a lot of defense work in Alaska at the bases. He loved Alaska. Yeah, we loved it. It was just really it was, I've talked about this before. It was all about being closer to the family, but then also job opportunities, because job opportunities, once you retire from the military, can be very limited up there. And that is why all of our friends that we knew who did actually stay in Alaska after Army life, with the exception of one family, they've all left Alaska, and they're actually, I think, actually all of the people who left Alaska are here now. They're here in Alabama. Yes, Winston-Salem. That's a nice area. I'd be there in a heartbeat if I could raise reindeer there. Yeah. Caribou is delicious. Delicious. And a lot of people don't know this, but a caribou and a reindeer are the exact same animal. The only difference is reindeer are caribou that have basically been domesticated and raised on a farm or a ranch or whatever you want to call it. But ones that are living wild are called caribous, but it's the exact same creature. Same species, same everything. What about the dark days in Alaska? Did that bother you? It actually did not bother me at all. Some people I know are bothered by it. One of the things that I did, because where we were at in Fairbanks, which is right smack in the middle of the state of Alaska, on the shortest day of the year, the sun comes up around 11 a.m. or so, and it goes down at about 2:30, somewhere around there. So you've got about 3 hours of official daylight, and then the gradual light and darkness on the ends. Hello, Mimsy's Garden. Welcome. And so I would make a point of getting out there while the sun was up. One of the things that I did was, one of the great things was our kitchen window faced the west. So in the afternoon, while I was cleaning in the kitchen and things like that, I could just stand in my window and just absorb the sunlight coming through the window. But then I also replaced the light bulbs in my house in all of the places that I spent the most time. So by my desk, in the kitchen, and things like that, I replaced all of those light bulbs with full spectrum lights that kind of replicate sunlight. And so you don't get that, that sense of being in the dark. So it didn't really bother me. I know we did know a few people who didn't like that, you know, didn't handle the dark or the very, very short days very well. You can one of the things that people also did was taking vitamin D supplements because of the lack of sunlight. So, but I personally didn't have any issues with it. Yeah, Jean did the full spectrum lights as well for living there in the Seattle area. Yeah, they're very helpful, and they're so much more easy to find now too. Because back then, when we lived up there, the only place I could find them was the craft store, and they had these like special lights for crafting so that you could see the colors of whatever it was you were working on without any sort of tone difference or anything like that. So back then, that was the only place I could find those lights. Yes, that's it. Ot lights. That's exactly what they were called. They probably still sell those too, the craft stores. But I would just get the light bulbs and just put them in all of my regular lamps and stuff. I love the fall, but not the short days. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the cooler temperatures. I love the cooler temperatures. Autumn is my favorite. Winter, I don't mind, but it'd be nice to, yeah. It's getting dark quick. Blaine says hi. Hello, Blaine. Yeah, Mr. Smith was talking earlier about how it's dark already. Yeah. Could have been worse. I mean, if we lived in Alaska, it'd been dark hours and hours ago. So Mr. Smith got to go someplace while he was in Utah. You want to tell him real quick?
Where'd I go?
Come here. Come here. Come here.
I don't have my makeup on.
He doesn't have his makeup on. So he went on a tour. Tell him where you went. Oh. Yeah. So they went to Black Rifle Coffee, and when they found out, didn't they ask you if you were veterans or something like that?
Yeah. It was so that's their original store, the very first store they started. And we went in there because my buddy wanted to get some coffee because they have these instant packs that they make, and he likes to take it when he goes on leave or on TDY. So we went out there and we were just talking to them. They're like, "Hey, you want to do a tour?" We're like, "Sure." So we walked through the whole building. It's pretty neat.
Tell them about the mural they had in there.
Well, yeah, they have it's this pretty big building. They have all of their, actually, let me grab it.
He got a couple things while he was there, but he didn't bring home any coffee.
I didn't want to pay $15 for a pound.
Oh.
So So all of their shirts and hoodies and stuff are done right there in that building, nowhere else. They do them all there. They have like 8 people working in there, and that's all they do is
Make the gear.
Make the gear. But we went into the big like meeting room where all the big wigs sit, and where their chairs are at, behind them is this huge mural of Washington crossing the Delaware. It's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had this one painting on the wall, which I told them they need to make a sticker, but it was a llama that had like 50 cows coming off his shoulder. Yeah.
That's funny.
It was awesome. But it was cool. We went there and went to a place called Big Cottonwood Canyon. That winds up, it's right there in Salt Lake City, but it winds up through the mountains, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 miles. So pretty. A lot of snow runoff and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sent me a bunch of pictures, so maybe I can include those in a video this week and let you guys see the scenery that he got to see. My kind of llama.
Yeah.
Oh, Dookie, go lay down.
Come on, guys.
Let's see. What are your top 3 recipes for November?
Chicken and dumplings.
He's gonna then list off his favorites. What else? I think turkey, yes.
And what we're having tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? Oh,
rabbit. Some rabbit and some chicken.
Yeah, on the grill.
Chicken and rabbit on the grill.
Alrighty. Chili with syrup.
Yeah.
Hi, Shotzi. Oh, Shotzi's got a sweater. It's got trees on it. Yeah. He shivers. He's got no fur. So he gets cold in the wintertime. So we got him a sweater. He actually got 2 sweaters, so he's got to back up. But yes, I think top recipe for November. When I think November, I think Thanksgiving dinner. I think the turkey and the corn casserole.
Yeah,
the corn
that's
casserole.
It. Forget the turkey.
It's the corn casserole.
Just corn casserole.
Yeah. So the corn casserole is a recipe I grew up eating, and we had it every major holiday. And I started making it, and I have to make multiples now because everyone fights over it. Yes. So I make 2 whole corn casseroles. And I've been told I need 3, but I'm not making 3.
Well, come on down, Catherine.
Well, I appreciate that, Wixer. All righty. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this up now. Oh, do you prefer, is that daylight savings time?
I hate it.
Yeah, I just want the clocks to stop changing. I don't care what time of year it stops, as long as it just stops. I just want it to stop. Drives me crazy. I went on a rant on that last week for quite a while. So let's go ahead and wrap this up since it is just about 7 o'clock. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Yeah, it is. So thanks for joining in on the chat tonight. And I will talk to you on. Oh, Catherine says they're going to be over this way in May.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that till just now. So, okay. Yes, Catherine, we will be in touch. So thanks for joining me, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, you guys.